welcome to the channel where sometimes we cook a little messy like. I'm gonna cook for my family using only this book. That gravy's incredible.
Oh, I don't like the vegetables.
I'm a little surprised.
I'm not too surprised.
I don't know if flavors just work.
Me and Velma think that it's yummy.
Ooh, oh good. It's just okay.
Read the instructions, Jeremy. It's really good.
It's kind of good.
Really? You can taste the nutmeg?
It's like the only thing you can taste.
Greetings and welcome to or welcome back to PB with Jay. Here on the channel, we focus on all things plant-based goodness. So today we're diving into Lindsay S. Nixon's The Happy Herbivore. We've actually covered some of Lindsay's recipes in another book called The Power Foods Diet, but that book is technically under the authorship of Dr. Neil Barnard because he wrote all of the more medicinal aspects of that book, and Lindsay collaborated on the recipes with someone named Dustin Harder. Anyway, this is Lindsay on her own under her pseudonym, The Happy Herbivore. And I'm excited to dive in because I know a lot of you have said lovely things about Lindsay's recipes in general on the channel. There's a couple things in here that I really like as well. She's got a good section on troubleshooting tips, stuff about, your temperature of your oven. She's also got this section that I almost thought about doing an entire video on called the top 10 tips for reading recipes and cooking from them. And you know what? I'll save that until the end of the video if you want me to kind of go through what those are. So a little bonus for this episode. If you're digging the recipes that you see on screen and you want to pick up a copy of the book, please do so at the link in the description down below. Getting it from there helps us out here on the channel. And another link that you'll find down there and in the QR code right here is for our own cookbook, which is, it's technically an ebook, although there are physical copies available. They're limited in number though, so if you want to get a physical copy, email me right here on the screen at this email address. Send us your full mailing address so I can give you a proper quote for the book. For those that are unfamiliar with our review system, it is an S-tier system, which is right what it says here on the screen. So when you hear us giving different letters for what we think of the dish, this is basically what they mean to us. And stick around until the end of this video so I can let you know whether or not I think you should buy, borrow, or bypass this book altogether. But before we get into the recipes at hand, I'd like to give a quick hello to some of you who said hello to us in the comments down below. Carrie from Chattanooga, Tennessee, Patty from Michigan, Kat from Denver, Diane from Cape Town, South Africa, Evelyn from Missouri, Leo from Australia, Anne and Fam from Washington State, Louise from Ottawa, Ontario, Maria from Munich, Germany, Tamara in Utah, home of the best snow on earth, or so their ski resorts would have you believe, Suzanne from Buffalo, Maria from Providence, Rhode Island, Jack from Tennessee, and Carlene from, you didn't actually tell me where you're from, but I know where you're from on the internet, and that is Our Mighty Network. Our Mighty Network is a group of like-minded individuals who support each other through their, whether they're just starting out to eat plant-based or they're trying to lose weight or a combination of all those kind of things. It's a great place if you need a community to support you or just like-minded individuals, because I know a lot of us are alone on this journey. You can join us there for all of these wonderful perks for the price of a crappy cup of coffee a month. All right, let's get to the recipes. So for dinner tonight, we're gonna make this Hippie Loaf. And she recommends making it with her dirty mashed potatoes, her gravy, and her maple glazed vegetables. So I'm gonna do all of that. And it sounds like it's a lot, but I think it's gonna be okay because this Hippie Loaf comes together really quick. And it's just a great bunch of stuff. But because it's a loaf, I'm just gonna put all this stuff in the food processor and let it do its job. So basically we're gonna put everything into the food processor like I just mentioned. You do have to cook some quinoa in advance of this. She says a tablespoon Italian seasoning. If you don't have that, put in a teaspoon of oregano, of thyme, and of marjoram, and you're good to go. Do those in equal amounts and you should be fine. So we're gonna process all of that. We're gonna put it into a loaf pan and then we're gonna bake that for, it says 45 minutes to 1 hour at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then let it cool for 15 to 20 minutes. So we're gonna make that first. And while that's cooking, we're gonna do everything else. which is making the dirty mashed potatoes, which are really, really simple. She boils the potatoes in a pot on the stove, which you can totally do. I'm actually just gonna steam mine in the Instant Pot, which I think you do for... So it is 10 minutes for steaming the potatoes. Also, you're probably wondering, why is the Instant Pot so dirty when you're steaming it? Because the quinoa stuck to it a little bit that I used for the Hippie Loaf. And you know what? It's gonna help loosen it up, the stuff that's stuck to the bottom, by steaming it inside the pot. Worst case, I'll clean it all up later. It won't affect the potatoes whatsoever, but just in case you're sitting there going, who is this filthy human being? The answer is Jeremy. That's the filthy human being. Hi, welcome to the channel where sometimes we cook a little messy like. And then for her, she's just adding, after that's done, she just mashes them together with some non-dairy milk and some onion powder or onion flakes and salt and pepper and a little bit of garlic powder. She says you can do some variations here, like a cheesy mashed potato and herbed mashed potato, which is, I'm gonna do that one because Emily Woolley, for those that know her as Woolley, bought some fresh oregano. And we've got a bunch of fresh thyme as well. So I'm gonna chop those up and mix those in as well. We'll make some herb potatoes, that's fun. And her gravy seems simple enough. We're gonna whisk together our nooch nutritional yeast and flour together and toast that for a few minutes on the pot. And then we're going to whisk in all the other ingredients except for the salt, bring to a boil and allow the sauce to thicken as desired. It says if you want an even thicker gravy, you can add like a cornstarch mixture in there too, but we won't do that. The glazed vegetables, she says to make a little cornstarch slurry, and then add some broth and vegetables to a frying pan and bring that to a boil. Reduce the heat to low and add some maple syrup, some apple cider vinegar, and all this other stuff, and then cook for 5 minutes until the vegetables are cooked but still crisp. Add the cornstarch mixture and stir to combine. Turn up the heat and wait for the sauce to thicken, but keep a watchful eye. Doesn't say how long it'll take to do that, but she's got the quick symbol on, so. And for this, it's interesting. She just says to do 2 cups of chopped vegetables, which is super vague. I'm gonna do carrots. I'm interested to see how this all comes together. It seems like a lot. Hi, Willie.
Hi.
So each of these are individual recipes in the book.
Okay.
So you can rate the whole dish on its own, but you can also rate the things individually. Oh, those vegetables are really nice. Oh, there's so much flavor there.
The loaf is very mushy.
Yeah, it's similar to how ours is, I think. You need to let it sit.
Yeah.
Loaves are hard to get right, man. There's a lot of flavor there. That gravy's incredible. I like that gravy a lot, eh?
It's kind of I don't know what the flavor is. It tastes okay mixed with stuff. I don't like it on its own. Yeah?
So you wouldn't have the gravy on its own, like drink the gravy?
No.
Do you normally do that?
No.
Yeah, obviously the gravy needs to be
I'm
mixed
just
with stuff.
saying, like,
Yeah.
I don't love the flavor of it, but when it's mixed with other things, it tastes okay.
I still like our gravy more, but this is a really good gravy. This is more like what I think of like a poutine gravy. I like it. If you don't like mushrooms, this is a good alternative to our gravy. What do you think of the vegetables?
Sweet.
That's maple glazed. With no oil or no butter or anything. That gravy's an S for me. The potatoes, they're very similar to ours. I just added the herbs because she suggested it. Most potatoes like an A. They're great, they're good, but they don't blow my mind. But I like adding the herbs a lot. The vegetables, I'm gonna give it an S too, because that's a really nice, easy way to do vegetables. That adds like a lot of flavor. And the loaf is like a B+. It's okay, it's got a lot of flavor on its own.
See how the loaf is tomorrow if it's more solid.
Yeah.
It's fine. The loaf is fine. Like a B.
Yeah. How about the rest of it?
Yeah, it's like an A.
For what? Everything else? No.
Do you like my nails?
I like the potatoes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah? The herbs in them are nice, eh?
Yeah.
And what about the gravy?
Gravy's kind of weird.
I didn't try it.
It's just really salty.
Oh, I don't like the vegetables.
Oh, really? I thought you would.
Oh, it's so bad.
Can you try the potato with the gravy? Just to try the gravy?
No.
Love's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's a little mushy.
It's really mushy.
So what would you give the meatloaf then, Annie?
F.
Fair enough.
Actually, wait.
I'll give it a B.
I'll give it a is C
there's
lower
food on
than
the
B?
ground. No
Yeah.
dog has found
Yeah,
it yet.
C.
Gravy B minus. Vegetables F. Potatoes A.
They all around for you,
There's
Annie?
something wrong with the potatoes. Everything is bad. There's something wrong with the potatoes.
I thought the kids would like the vegetables. I'm a little surprised.
I'm not too surprised.
All right, next. Tonight for dinner, we're gonna make Rajma Masala, which is a red kidney bean curry, and that's something I've never made. It says it's like an Indian cousin to vegetarian chili. We like Indian food around here, so this should be good. This recipe looks really, really simple. The only little kind of red flag I have for it off the jump is just the timings are real vague in some spots. Cook until most of the water has cooked off. I like that because it's practical, but I would also love stuff like, roughly 5 to 10 minutes. It does have the quick symbol on this recipe, but I don't know what that means. Quick for me might be 5 minutes. Quick for you could be an hour, So I don't have a context for that. Anyway, I think quick means like meals that are ready in less than half an hour. So to start off, I'm gonna cook some rice in the Instant Pot just so it's ready to go at the end. She does recommend serving this with rice. Just so you know, the increments in this recipe are for serving 2. I'm doubling that, so that way we have enough for the entire family. And I might even triple it so we have leftovers, actually. The other thing I'm gonna do to this recipe is I'm gonna add some vegetables to it because it's a little sparse. And by sparse, I mean there's none besides like tomato sauce. So I'm gonna add some peppers to the onions when I cook them up. So in the medium saucepan, we are going to water saute some onions, and we're throwing the peppers in there as well. And then we're gonna add these spices into it, which is like a coriander, chili, cumin, turmeric, and ginger. And we're gonna cook that until the water has, so I know what that means by the water's cooked off. That's just because we're water sauteing. Read the instructions, Jeremy. Then we're gonna add the tomato sauce, the kidney beans, and the salt, and we're gonna lower the heat until everything's cooked through. And then we're gonna turn that off and stir in the last spice, which is the garam masala, and we're gonna let that rest for a few minutes, allowing the flavors to merge. Serve over rice and garnish with fresh cilantro, which I think we have. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I'm probably gonna wanna throw some lime into this as well at the end. I don't know why. Something about lime when it comes to dishes like this just kind of like make them pop for me. This looks like it comes together ridiculously fast. That's exciting because I'm also gonna make her cookies, which you'll see how they turn out right after this one.
Tastes like Indian chili.
Is that a good thing? We like Indian food.
Yeah. I don't really like chili though.
No.
So, probably not my favorite curry. But it's okay. It's got a lot of flavor.
It's mostly tomato sauce as the base and then a lot of
Yeah.
spices.
Yeah,
but
I know.
The spices don't make this taste like tomato sauce. Like, it's definitely tomato based, but oh wow, I bet you this is gonna be incredible tomorrow. Like this, the flavors did sit for about 10 minutes and mingle. But wow, I imagine this might not go over well with other people in our house, but I really like this a lot.
Yeah, it's a you kind of meal. I don't know, I think it's good, but it's just not really my flavor palette, so it's hard to give it, I want to give it a non-biased judgment.
You have to,
in
that's the
that
whole
way.
point of a review is you're biased. What do you give it?
For my taste preference, I give
Yeah.
it a B.
Okay.
But I think it's a good meal.
So people that
I don't
would-
think it's bad. I don't think the
It's
person
just-
who created the recipe did a bad job. It's just not for me.
Got it. For me, this is definitely an A+. It's very flavorful and simple, and I would add even more vegetables to this. It didn't have any. I like that I added the peppers. Good job, Jeremy.
Yum.
Yum.
Sure.
Do you want some?
No. Tastes like chili.
Really?
It's kind of good.
Me and
Any
Velma
thought?
think that it's yummy.
You like
Right?
you like it? You're just not hungry?
Let me see what Velma thinks. What do you think? Okay. She said that she likes kibble better.
Oh, but what about you?
I think it's pretty good. A B.
This would be better with long rice.
Okay.
Long rice.
Like
Basmati.
seasoned.
Yeah.
But it's
Oh,
pretty
is
good.
she a pretty girl?
I don't know, the flavors just work. And I think the peppers were a good addition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Great.
An A.
A rare A from Ephraim. We're gonna try out her chocolate chip cookies, which she says are the best low-fat chocolate chip cookie you'll ever eat. And they're ridiculously addictive fresh out of the oven. So I'm gonna try to time them so I bake them while we're having dinner so they're perfect for dessert. Again, what I love about her recipes is I don't have to do any of my own swaps, really, because she doesn't use oil here. Instead, she's using applesauce. Now, the only swap I will do is I'm gonna make these gluten-free. She uses a whole wheat pastry flour. I'm just gonna use an oat flour because I think that's what I usually have the best luck with. And she's using brown sugar, but I'm going to use our new favorite thing, which is date powdered. It's like dates ground up, like dried and ground up. So we're gonna use that instead of the brown sugar. Other than that, we're gonna keep it as is. So we're gonna preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna prep a cookie sheet. And then in one bowl, we're gonna mix together the applesauce, the sugar, vanilla, and the non-dairy milk. In a smaller bowl, we're gonna whisk together the flour, the baking powder, the salt, the cornstarch, and the cinnamon. The cornstarch is interesting. I've never put cornstarch in a cookie recipe, so I'm curious what that'll do for it. So the recipe just said to drop it in spoonfuls, not to press it down or anything. Because I'm using oat flour as opposed to whole wheat flour, I'm not sure if that'll... Anyway, I decided to do half of them just dropped on and half of them patted down. And we're gonna bake for 7 to 10 minutes for a soft and light cookie. Or for a few minutes more for a firmer cookie. Be careful not to burn. I like to go with a softer cookie here. So we're gonna do that. Oh, 1 second. Oh, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah?
It has chocolate chips in it. And it has like a cinnamon taste or
Yeah,
something.
with the cinnamon.
It's good. I'm gonna have 2. I'll give it an S.
No.
Yeah.
Nah. It's okay. Like, it's just like really raw.
Oh, okay.
Like a alright B.
Okay.
It's fine. It's chocolatey. It's oaty. It's good. I'd give it an A. I'm making it softer.
It's really good.
It's actually margarine.
If you like a softer cookie,
Raw.
it doesn't taste raw.
It doesn't taste raw, but it feels raw.
I think it's great. I think that is a great cookie. And the oat flour worked fine. I think that being thicker didn't matter. I'd give that an S. Solid cookie.
Do you want?
So for dinner, we're gonna make 2 things from this book. We're making the frittata, as well as the sweet potato home fries. And if you notice the whining in the background, that means Woolie's home. Velma's obsessed with Woolie. As am I. As are some of you, actually. She appreciates it. Okay, so we're gonna preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit because both these things cook at that temperature, which is why I put them together. Also, I feel like she might recommend that you put them together. This is simple on both sides, so let's get the frittata going first. I'm gonna bake them at the same time. So we're gonna crumble some tofu into a large bowl, just with our hands, it says, just until it has like the texture of feta. Then we're gonna stir in some nooch, some Dijon mustard, onion powder, garlic powder, turmeric, and then a little bit of salt and pepper. If you like Kala Namak, which is like a black salt that gives it like an eggy flavor, put that on at the end, just on your own individual serving, because it actually bakes out or cooks out of flavor. So putting it in early is kind of useless. And if you're like Woolie, you don't like it. It says to mix in vegetables or any other ingredients you're using. It just says 1 cup of chopped vegetables. I'll see what we got in the fridge. Off the top of my head, oh, Annie's not home tonight, so I'm gonna put in mushrooms and peppers. So once that's all mixed in together, we are going to just put that into a prepped pie plate. It says to grease or spray a shallow 9-inch pie plate. Nothing to keep it together, eh? There's no like flax egg or anything like that, eh? Interesting. Okay, and you bake it for 20 to 25 minutes until it's firm and slightly brown. Cool for 5 minutes before serving. Place a dish over top and quickly but gently flip the frittata out. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, the photo isn't, it's not bad, but the photo isn't like super appetizing. And then for the sweet potato fries, you're going to grind your rosemary with a mortar and pestle until it reaches the consistency of sea salt. Or if you've got like a magic bullet, just put it in that and use like the dry grinder thing, which is what I'm gonna do. Place potatoes and apples in a mixing bowl. Oh, I forgot that she uses apples. Place potatoes and apples in a mixing bowl, spray with cooking spray. I think I have a little bit of aquafaba in the fridge, which is what I will use on top of the potatoes instead of the cooking spray. Mix to evenly coat, respray and repeat for the third time, and then you keep on adding the rosemary to it. Transfer to a cookie sheet. Bake for 15 to 25 minutes until fully cooked and crisp. This apple thing's fascinating. And then while all of these things are baking, I'm just gonna make a really quick side salad just using a bunch of stuff that we have in our Click and Grow. Not a sponsor of this video, but we have a bunch of, you know, salady green things that I haven't used before. I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head. I'll try to remember later. But I'll put the names right here for those that are curious. One of them tastes like lemon. It's pretty cool. You know, let's just go over there. What am I doing? I can bring the camera with me. We have the ability. The technology exists, Jeremy. We're just being lazy. Green sorrel. We have some arugula that I left it too long, and some romaine. And then I've got a bunch of fresh herbs here that we'll throw in as well. And we'll make a little salad up by thinking. I've got all these really good balsamic vinegars that I got from Christmas. So I'll probably just use one of those. Blackberry balsamic vinegar. Done. So a little shout out to the Splendid Olive Canadian company. I got these from my mother-in-law as a gift. Shout out to them. I will put a link in the description down below if you want to check out their collection of, or I should say selection, of balsamic vinegars and whatever else they sell.
When I scooped out the frittata, it fell apart, and so
Yeah.
now it's basically a tofu scramble.
That's what I was thinking.
But it tastes really good. But yeah,
It's
it's
a
more
tofu
like a scramble and some like home fries. And the fries are good. I like the apples, very interesting.
How does it taste?
I like that.
Oh, what I did like about it
sour.
is did they have you toss the tofu in mustard and nooch? I can taste the mustard a little bit. I like it. The Dijon.
Yeah.
I would add some salsa to that though. It needs something else.
Well, we usually, but you know what, we do that with tofu scramble. We make it kind of plain, and then everybody kind of has it how they want.
So this is a
I'd
fine
say-
base, but if you already have a tofu scramble recipe, it's basically the same.
Yeah.
And what did you think of? Sorry, you were mentioning the home fries.
Yeah, I think it's nice with the apple. It's kind of cool. It's kind of unique.
It brings out the sweetness in the sweet potatoes. I like it. It's nice. What would you give it? They're individual recipes.
I think I'd give them both like an A.
Yeah, same. An A for they're great. That's what I like about the apple is it makes it so you don't feel like you need something like ketchup. For me, actually puts ketchup on the apple.
There's hardly any apple though. It's mostly sweet potato, and I
Okay.
really like ketchup with fries. It's like a habit I have.
So we got the white potato. That's not potato. What the heck? What happened to the potato?
That's an apple.
Why?
I know it looks like potatoes
Why is there apple?
because it's a recipe. That's what they decided to
I'm
do.
gonna try the potato and the potato together. Oh,
Did-
it's kind of good. This tofu scramble's good.
Is it
Oh, it's
good?
kind of salty though.
Mm.
I think that's a good A. Both of them.
Both of them? So tonight for dinner, I'm gonna make this fettuccine Alfredo, and I'm also gonna make these bacon bits, quote unquote bacon bits, for the top. So this fettuccine Alfredo, you're okay, doggy. Rufus is a special treat, so he's whining. Rufus, you're fine. This is why you can't have nice things. This looks really simple. It looks like the kind of thing that you can make in the time it took to cook the pasta. So get the pasta cooking on the pot. We're gonna use our normal Catelli gluten-free pasta here. While that's going, we're gonna combine the tofu, the non-dairy milk, the garlic, and onion powders, nutmeg, salt and pepper, and the cayenne powder into our food processor and blend until it's smooth and creamy. It says you can use vegan Parmesan as well. I don't happen to have any on hand, so I might just throw in a little bit of extra nooch in here. And then when it comes to these bacon bits, we're gonna make our little smoky sauce out of soy sauce, liquid smoke, some water, maple syrup, garlic powder, and paprika, and bring that to a boil. And once that's boiling, we are going to stir in the TVP or TSP. I don't know what TSP is. What's TSP? Let me know in the comments down below if you are aware of this thing. Continue to stir until all the liquid has been absorbed. Add salt as needed. Next, you'll need to crisp up and dehydrate the bits. So either set your toaster to 200 degrees Fahrenheit and toast the crumbs, shaking the tray every 2 minutes to prevent burning, and repeat until crisp, or fry in a non-stick pan until crispy. I'm assuming that it's just Ephraim and I that are gonna have those bacon bits. Emily and Annie won't like them. I have some extra zucchini from the muffins I'm making for the next recipe. So I'm gonna use that as part of the vegetable because waste not, want not. So we don't have fettuccine. So this is gonna be penne Alfredo. I'm very excited for the bacon bits. It is a very, very good idea. Keep in mind that in
I don't like bacon.
it's TVP bits.
I don't like TVP or bits.
You gonna try it?
I guess I have to.
Yes. Or you can just put a couple on, and if you don't like them, don't put more on.
I don't think Annie's gonna like it.
Why did you whisper that?
I don't want her to hear me say that.
Oh.
She definitely won't like it.
That's a good. That's not bad. All right. Did you try some of the bacon bits?
Mm-hmm.
There's like 3 in there. Mine is littered with them. What do you think?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They add a little texture to it.
Yeah.
Right? Oh. See, Annie probably won't want to put those in. But that's what rounds out the flavor with the salt, right?
Mm-hmm. It's like strong on the nutmeg, which is fine for me, but I'm not sure.
Really? You can taste the nutmeg?
It's like the only thing you can taste.
Really? It does call for like a quarter teaspoon, which
It's a lot.
that's a lot of nutmeg. For me, I think the balance isn't quite there of flavor for the sauce. We've had or could make an Alfredo sauce. It's just creamier or something. Mm-hmm. And also, like, I let this blitz for quite a while and it still didn't cream up.
Yeah, it's kind of grainy.
A little grainy. But the bacon bits elevate it for me. If it wasn't for the bacon bits, this would be like a B. But the bacon bits make it like an A for me.
I think it's a B for me.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm surprised you like that much. What do you think, Annie?
Yeah. I said fine.
Is my fun? Can you try some of those a little crispy?
No, ew.
It makes it.
It's like crispy and salty.
Just
Yeah.
try it.
I got
A
it.
B. Because it doesn't taste like Alfredo.
Okay, so it's not a good vegan Alfredo.
Why does the sauce look like this?
The sauce? What do you mean? What do you mean like
It's
this?
chunky.
Oh, it didn't. I don't know. It didn't get as smooth as I was hoping.
Ooh, it's kind of good. I like it. A.
An A? Wow.
The flavors are just like syncing up. I feel like if the sauce was a bit more thicker, it would be better though.
Yeah. For our dessert and probably for treats tomorrow, we're gonna make these chocolate zucchini muffins. It's funny, in her description she says, I know what you're thinking, these two foods don't go together, but they do. I grew up eating zucchini bread that friends of my mom's made. So this doesn't seem foreign to me, even though I grew up in a small town that ate like a sad diet. So let me know in the comments down below if this is uncommon for you. It's essentially a muffin recipe. We're gonna mix all of our dry ingredients into one bowl. And then we're going to mix all of our wet ingredients into another bowl, which includes the mashed banana, the applesauce, and the sugar and the non-dairy milk, along with the vanilla and the zucchini. And there's nothing here we gotta swap out. I'm just gonna make that flour. I'm probably just gonna use oat flour. I prefer that for baked goods like this as opposed to like a gluten-free one-to-one. Then we're gonna combine the wet and the dry. It says to add the dry mixture into the wet mixture in 3 to 4 batches. So I guess pour a little in, stir it around, pour a little in, stir it around. Add the vegan chocolate chips, fold them in now if you're gonna use them. And then spoon into muffin cups until 3/4 a cup full. Bake at 18 to 25 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. And then transfer to a cooling rack. Chef's note here says you can reduce the amount of sugar for a less sweet muffin or use all the sugar for a more of a dessert-like treat. Oh, we're gonna go with that half a cup there, and I'm still gonna call it a dessert to my kids.
It's nice and moist. Has a little bit of weird aftertaste. So it's like a B+.
Yeah?
Tastes like banana bread, but really chocolatey banana bread. A B.
What would make them an A for you? Like, what could you do to make them more like an A?
Be an actual muffin.
But what's that mean? So what makes this not an actual muffin?
Because it's not the things you find in grocery stores.
So bigger or...
Like the things you find in grocery stores.
So what is that? Explain this if I don't
The
know.
sugary muffins.
Oh, so you want it to be more like a cupcake.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's just okay. It's not too exciting. Despite the fact that it's chocolate with chocolate chips in it.
Yeah? What would you give it?
Like a C.
Okay. Yeah, it's just okay. I mean, it's fine. I'll have this. We'll eat them. These are a B. I won't throw them out. Like, they're not bad enough that I would throw them out. It's like a B- probably. It's too bad. Everything else has been so good in this book. So before I get into our final review of the book, I'd like to quickly do Lindsay's top 10 tips for reading recipes. Number 1, before starting out, read each recipe thoroughly and pay close attention to the directions and looking up unfamiliar ingredients or methods. It's true. So many people, Wooly especially, get halfway through a recipe and realize they are ill-prepared for what is to come. Clean a space where you can work. Make sure the pots and pans and other tools are clean and set them up if necessary. Gather all the ingredients and prep them as directed. It's called mise en place in professional kitchens. And just like, you can use little prep bowls and that kind of stuff. I will tell you, when I first started cooking, I did not do that. So I would cut up an onion and throw it in the pan and it would be burning as I'm preparing everything else. If nothing else, just get all the ingredients out. And then based on, what the recipe says, you could start cutting vegetables a little bit into the recipe. Like if you have to sweat onions for 10 minutes and you've just got 2 other vegetables to cut, maybe you could do that while you're sweating your onions. Yada, yada, yada. But yeah, getting everything out and organized will actually save you time. Number 3 is don't hold your recipes captive. Worry about perfect precision only when you're baking. A little more or less of a spice will not make or break a recipe. Amen. Thank you, cookbook author, for letting people know that, because so many people will not make a recipe because they don't have enough of something and they're worried about what it'll do. Baking, on the other hand, though, a little more scientific. Number 4, always spoon your flour into your measuring cup lightly and gently, never scoop it out of the bag. I'm definitely guilty of doing that from time to time. 5, know your oven temperature and locate the hot spots using an oven thermometer. This is true. Different parts of your oven might be hotter or cooler, and that's why so many recipes tell you to turn your pan around halfway through, just in case. But if you can get your hands on an oven thermometer, you can actually get a sense of, how your oven actually reacts and where the cold or hot spots are. Number 6, if you're new to vegan food, start with recipes that are inherently vegetarian, like veggie-laden dishes, and work your way up to tofu and meat substitutes. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I don't go all in right away. It just makes it harder. It's not impossible. Number 7, if you're new to low-fat cooking, start with a dessert recipe or a comfort food dish and make sure to include the optional ingredients. So that's for this book in particular. Number 8, if you make an adaptation or substitution, think about the big picture and ask yourself, what does that ingredient do? Is it essential? Does my substitution look, taste, feel, weigh, and have the same moisture and texture as the original ingredient? That's what I'm doing when I'm doing all of my modifications that I do for most other cookbooks. I didn't have to do it a lot here. Really, really important just to know, what is this doing, scientifically, flavor-wise, all that kind of stuff. Number 9, keep an open mind. If you think something will taste amazing, it probably will. If you go into a new recipe with bad attitude, you'll likely have a bad experience. This is 100% true. And this is something I try to push on our own kids too when I give them a meal from a book that we're doing and they think it's something they've already eaten from another book or something we've eaten. I always try to remind them, like, go into a fresh perspective. I mean, this is true in life. If you have a good attitude, good things will happen. If you approach anything with negativity, negativity will go along with it. So that's just good life advice. And last but not least, have fun. Keeping Zen in the kitchen is every chef's best kept secret for awesome results. She listens to music to keep up the peace. I do too. Have a little dance party in my kitchen. So what did we think of Lindsay Nixon's The Happy Herbivore? I mean, I don't think this is going to be a shock to anyone watching because, I don't know, I just think she is a master of flavor. Even some of the stuff that I don't think was ideal for some of us in our family, we all recognize the fact that it was tasty and delicious. I don't think I've ever seen Ephraim give that many A's in an entire book of recipes. So this could be Ephraim's favorite book that we've cooked for so far. And I think it's just because of that, like his constant note from things is it's bland, it doesn't have enough flavor. And that is not the case with this book. I also love that it is naturally oil and, low in salt and is just a really great base for a lot of recipes. And they've got a lot of basic stuff in here too that I didn't even touch on. So this book is 100% a buy. If you are low on funds, borrow it maybe and take it for a test run. But I don't think there's anyone who eats plant-based who wouldn't benefit from checking out this book because it is great for beginners. It's great for people who just want quick and easy meals. And for people that have been cooking this way for a while, there's also things in here that I haven't done before, like that TVP bacon bits. That's such a brilliant idea that I wish I would have thought of myself. So kudos to you, Lindsay. This is an excellent book. And if you are interested in picking it up, we have a link in the description down below. Getting it from there helps us out. And it helps Lindsay out too, obviously. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button to let YouTube know to share this with other people. Obviously, subscribe if you want more videos like this. And stick around because YouTube has this next video all queued up for you. I'm assuming it's a video from our channel. If it's not, you can check that out too, because let's share the love, right?